Is Wednesday, July 22nd, 2026. As usual, we'll give it a few minutes for people to join and we'll get started. All right, we have some people joining. We'll give it another minute or so. Hey, Dale, thanks for joining. Welcome to the Pro Gun live stream. I am going to wait for a few people to join before I start talking about the pro gun news because we had a good week last week and I don't want to have to do it twice. However, in the meantime, if you guys have anything you want to talk about or discuss, just leave it in the chat and we will do that. Come on, Mike, where are you? Duke, waiting for you. All right, good deal. I'm waiting for Duke to join because we have some gun news related to New Jersey, and I know he's from New Jersey, so I'm sure he'll be interested in that. And that was a major, major win. And for the people that are on the chat, don't be shy, introduce yourself. If it doesn't show me who's on, it only shows me how many people. So I can't give you a shout out if I don't know you're here. All right, well, you know what? you never know how many people are going to join this stream, so I'm not going to wait any longer. We will talk about the gun news. We had a major, major win last week. In the state of New Jersey, the Third Circuit ruled that the AR-15 ban and the magazine bans are unconstitutional. And surprisingly, one of the judges on the Third Circuit was a Biden appointee. And I got to give the woman credit. She was able to do her job. Now, I have a lot of friends in New Jersey, and I tell them to be cautiously optimistic. The magazine limit in New Jersey was changed to 10 rounds years ago. And the Third Circuit finally agreed that magazines that come with the gun are standard issue, not high capacity. And hello there, Officer Taylor. So, what does that mean? Okay, well, in New Jersey, prior to this, if you were to purchase an AR-15, in order to have it be New Jersey compliant, you were only allowed one of three evil things. And if it had a pistol grip, you could not have a collapsible stock or a flash hider. It also made the magazine restriction 10 rounds. And on an AR-15, 30 rounds is standard issue, not 10. They made up what they call high capacity. Well, that all went away. Effective July 31st, in New Jersey, you will now finally be able to buy standard issue magazines. That is a huge, huge win. Hey, Duke, I'm glad you just joined. Talking about the huge win in New Jersey. Now, the Third Circuit in New Jersey ruled last week that magazines are standard issue. They're not high capacity. So high capacity mags and AR-15 ban in New Jersey is unconstitutional. And effective July 31st, you will now be able to go to Gun Mag Warehouse or anywhere you want and buy 30-round mags for your AR, and whatever mag comes with your gun, you'll be able to buy them as well. I have a lot of friends in New Jersey that bought Springfield Echelons, and when they went to pick them up, they took the 17-round mags away and gave them 10 rounds. This was a huge, huge win. I know you're not as old as I am, Duke, but you know something? A win is a win. And I'm cautiously optimistic because I don't know if they're going to appeal this. They may just decide to leave it alone, because if New Jersey appeals it and the Supreme Court rules that, you know, how many times are you going to keep appealing this? They may lose even more. Now, hey, Drilla, thanks for joining. Now, why is this so important? Well, I used to live in the communist state of New Jersey. And thank you for joining there, Drilla. Yes, Duke, it goes into effect July 31st. But surprisingly, even a judge that was a Biden appointee was able to use good judgment and help pass this. Now, the reason I say if you live in New Jersey, you should be cautiously optimistic, and that's because this magazine bullshit that's been going on in New Jersey has been going on for 36 years. You could look it up. New Jersey's been going back and forth for 36 years on magazine capacity. Started with Governor Florio. And finally, Governor Christie made it 15 rounds. And then Governor Murphy made it 10. Now, I don't know how this is going to work out. It's surely not going to be nationwide, which is why we need to have the Supreme Court get on board with this stuff, because they need to put their foot down on mag restrictions on a national basis, because every state has their own laws right now. And say you have a carry permit from your state and you're going to another state that does have reciprocity. So you're legally carrying a gun, but you could be breaking the law because your magazine may exceed the capacity allowed by that state. And that's why the Supreme Court has to put their foot down on this. Now, the Third Circuit, technically, the Third Circuit consists of Delaware, New Jersey, and the Virgin Islands. So right now, it's kind of a gray area. And I guess if you live in New Jersey, all you care about is now you can go out and get your magazines and you can buy your AR-15s. But this is not on a national level. But a win is a win, and it's a huge win. The courts also in Virginia temporarily blocked that lunatic governor's AR ban. So you're starting to see, finally, that our Second Amendment rights are being taken into consideration. Supreme Court also has ruled that they are going to look into whether states can make up their own magazine laws or bans on AR-15s. The courts are also getting involved in Connecticut, Illinois. Supreme Court already ruled in Hawaii and got rid of the vampire laws there. And a win is a win. And you know what? We've been slowly getting wins, and it's almost like, especially in New Jersey, after the Bruen case, they've actually been losing rights. So I'm happy for the people in New Jersey, but like I caution my friends that still live there to be cautiously optimistic. It's never over. I don't know what they're doing, but I guarantee you the Attorney General and the governor are probably scratching their heads figuring what they can do to squash this. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Duke. You now in New Jersey, on July 31st, you'll be able to walk into gun stores and buy high-capacity magazines, AR-15s. You should also now be able to go to Gun Mag Warehouse. There's a lot of companies that won't even sell to New Jersey, but it's a start. And you know what? While you can do it, because New Jersey State Police did issue a memo that effective July 31st, they will not be illegal anymore. Yep, you can get 30 rounds for your Ruger. You can get 30 rounds for ARs. There is no such thing in New Jersey anymore as high capacity. They are called what they always should have been called, standard issue. You have a similar thing going on in Illinois right now. They want to ban AR-15s. And then, of course, in California, they banned all Glocks and Glock clones. And the DOJ is looking into that, and I'm betting any money the Supreme Court will get involved in that because um, the DOJ's response is you can't just pick a company like Glock and say you can't sell any of your products. So it's going to be very interesting, but um, I'm very hopeful. You're seeing a lot of these cases coming up in court now, and you know, you have a state like New Jersey win. Maybe that'll cascade over to Illinois and Rhode Island and Connecticut, Maryland, California, um, and maybe in the near future we will have our Second Amendment rights the way they should be. I would have liked it to be where it was a slam dunk across the board in every state, and I don't know, what's going to happen in New Jersey if they appeal it, because the Supreme Court is going to fire back at them and say, you've been appealing this for 36 years. I mean, come on, enough is enough here. Fortunately, we live in the great state of Tennessee here. Don't have to worry about that stupid stuff. Hey, Gundogan. I agree with you, Duke. I mean, the big thing right now is, you hear all of this talk about national reciprocity, but I don't see that ever happening. But before that does happen, you are going to have to, the Supreme Court is going to have to straighten out this mag restriction. Like I said, you can't have national reciprocity and have you be able to carry your firearm in all 50 states, but then you get arrested because you broke the law because your magazine exceeds the limit for that state. So we got to do one thing at a time. Hopefully they'll straighten out this high capacity magazine and use common sense, because again, that is a term made up by the liberals. Magazines that come with the firearm is standard issue. No such thing as high capacity. Take your Glock 20, for instance, Duke. That standard issue magazine is 15 rounds. Now, for New Jersey to say you can only have a 10-round magazine, 15 is high capacity, that's nonsense. That's the magazine that's shipped with the gun, and it's not high capacity. It's standard issue. Fortunately, here in Tennessee, you can buy pretty much anything you want, and we don't really have any restrictions. But we did live in New Jersey for a long time. I have a lot of friends there. So it's a major, major win. I mean, when you talk about 36 years of going back and forth in court, well, Duke, effective July 31st, you will be able to bring those mags home. It's funny how many magazines and firearms got lost in boating accidents. I could just imagine how many guns and magazines people are now going to find in the lakes. All right, guys, this is your chat. So whatever you guys want to discuss, type it in the chat window and we'll do that. I don't have any more gun news. That was just major, major. I do have a set of grips I didn't put on yet that I got from Def Grip, and I will be trying them soon. Yeah, no problem, Duke. And I tried to wait a few minutes for you to get on because as a New Jerseyan, I knew you would have a vested interest in it. So congratulations. And again, that's why I say we have to fight every day. If you don't belong to an organization like NRA or Gun Owners of America, you really should consider it. There's really not much we can do as an individual, but when you support a large organization like Gun Owners of America and the NRA, thank God they have the resources to fight the government because we can't afford to do that. But I get involved in as many of those as I can. I fight for our rights every day, whether it's volunteering for them. I have my relationships with the NRA, Gun Owners of America, Firearms Coalition, Tennessee Firearms Owners. I even vote on surveys that don't even affect my state, only because I like to do all I can for people in every state. Hey, Peso. You know, there's Ozzy. Welcome, brother. Congrats on your son getting his driver's license. Yeah, well, eventually when I retire, I am an NRA certified instructor. I'm also certified by the state of Tennessee. I will be doing gun stuff full time when I retire. And I look forward to that. But it's funny when Mr. Grunt, I was wondering when the liberals were going to start joining. Liberals must be going ballistic over this, Duke. I mean, look at. Look at what your governor Mickey did there, Duke. She finally admitted that like 6,500 illegal aliens got driver's licenses and were able to vote. Well, now it looks like the DOJ found that it was more like 35,000. And this is why the liberal states like New Jersey, they like the illegals. Why do you think your governor in New Jersey decided to have them start all those riots at the ICE Center in Newark? Those are all her constituents. And Ellie, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I forgot the name of the guy, Duke. Um, Maybe you can put it in the chat. The guy that ran against Mickey. This guy got hosed big time. When he ran against Governor Murphy on Tuesday, they said he won. And then Friday, they said, yeah, no, he didn't win because of the mail-in ballots. Yeah, that's it, Shirelli. So he got hosed there. You know, sure as shit, he got hosed again. You can't tell me all these people in New Jersey voted for Mickey. She's just a lunatic. I mean, the people there can't be that stupid. But that poor guy got screwed. And, you know, she had no choice. She had to come clean. Well, you know what? I know. Hello there, Granola. Thank you for joining. Yeah, I agree, Duke. Even if he lost, it was a lot closer. But I can tell you, because the last time he ran against Governor Murphy, they announced that he won on Tuesday. Friday, they took it away, and they said because of mail-in votes. Bullshit. Why do you think New Jersey likes all the illegals? All the red states love the illegals because that's their constituents. Bottom line. And it's just funny that she had to come clean that these illegals are getting driver's licenses, you know. But anyway, a win is a win. And again, I'm very happy for the people in the state of New Jersey now that effective July 31st, there's an end to the magazine ban and AR ban. So I would stock up and buy as much as you can now, because I guarantee you that the governor and the attorney general are out right now thinking of what they can do to stop this. Well, you know, again, Duke, you know, we live in Tennessee now, right? And when you go to vote in Tennessee, you need a government issued document, driver license, carry permit, etc. It's got to be a government issued ID. And that's how it should be. Because when we lived in New Jersey, would go to the voting booth and you just tell them your name and they point to a signature in a book and they say, is that you? And you say, yeah, and they let you vote. You know, illegals are voting in New Jersey and a lot of the other liberal states. So I'm just glad now that the liberals in New Jersey are having a meltdown. And, you know, when the Third Circuit ruled that the magazine restrictions and the AR bans were unconstitutional, you know that the jackass governor in New Jersey, she posted a memo. I read it the other day, basically saying that the courts have now empowered mass shootings. Really? So the courts ruled in our favor, saying that high capacity magazines are unconstitutional and AR bans are unconstitutional. You really think it's the law abiding citizens that are doing the mass shootings. See, this is what that jackass doesn't get. The courts didn't empower more mass shootings, and they didn't make New Jersey less safe. It's it's the damn criminals that don't follow the gun laws. This is the whole ironic thing, is that we have the Second Amendment to protect our rights, but depending on the state you live in, your rights disappear when you leave your front porch. Um, it's just absolutely ridiculous because the criminals still have everything that we can't have, and they never once say what they're going to do to get the guns off the streets from the bad guys. It's just like, you have states like New York, right, where they want to ban 3D printers, and you have states that want to ban Glock switches. Seriously, when in these mass shootings, how many freaking people are getting killed with guns that are printed on a 3D printer? They're just stupid. These lawmakers are just morons. They know nothing about firearms, like Fred Flintstone over there in Illinois, who is telling people that an AR-15 shoots 60 bullets a second. Exactly, Mellingham. You see, the problem is there are no consequences for the bad guys. Now, if you have a carry permit in your state and you go to another state that doesn't have reciprocity, even though you have a carry permit in your state, you'll probably wind up going to jail. But yet, the bad guys, they carry their guns in every state. Do you really think that they worry about a capacity? And yes, Pezzo, high capacity magazines was made. It's a term invented by the liberals, right? When an AR-15 ships, it ships with a 30-round magazine. That is not high capacity. That is standard issue. If you buy a Glock 17 and it comes with a 17-round mag, that's not high capacity. It's standard issue. The biggest thing that the liberals did is that everybody and their brother knows on the AR that the AR stands for Armalite rifle. They manufactured it originally, right? But yet the liberals keep saying AR stands for assault rifle. Now, do you really think that a gun company is going to name their gun assault rifle? Seriously? And I agree with you again there, Pezzo. This has got nothing to do with criminals. First of all, I'm a data guy by trade. I love to analyze data, especially firearms data. There is absolutely zero proof that gun laws have any correlation with a drop in crime or violent crime. So you're imposing all of these restrictions on law-abiding citizens because the criminals don't care. The criminals are going to have their high-capacity magazines. I mean, look at New Jersey. In New Jersey, you can't even carry with true hollow points. You're only allowed, I don't know if you're aware of that, Duke, but in New Jersey, the only hollow point you're allowed to have is the Hornady Critical Duty because it's got Kevlar in so it's not a true hollow point. So again, you have lawmakers that are making up stupid laws that you would think that encourage hollow points so that you don't have over penetration. The other thing that the liberals do to scare people is they're going around saying that, the civilians are buying full automatic weapons. Well, it shows you how much they know about firearms because um, the AR-15s that we can buy are not full auto. And then they talk about how easy it is to buy a firearm. Anybody who says how easy it is obviously have never tried to buy one. Exactly, Duke. They try to scare and intimidate people, and the people don't know any better. They just know if the liberal news lies and the politicians lie and their buddies, are just regurgitating what they're being told. They don't really know. So they hear these things and they become anti-gun, right? But here's why you need to reach out to these pro-gun organizations and support them so they can fight for us. When I go to these gun groups, and every time they mention something about, the courts ruled in our favor, they all keep posting, shall not be infringed in 2A and Second Amendment is my right to carry. You know what? They're all regurgitating all that nonsense too. And even though it's true, it's really not true because depending on the state you live in, they do regulate you. You could say all you want shall not be infringed, but we are infringed. I agree, Mellingham. They don't know that the process exists. Again, just like they say how easy it is to buy a gun, you still have to go through a NICS background check, and people do fail them. Now, every once in a while, does somebody fall through the cracks? I'm sure they do. But for the most part, the system does catch people. And when they go to buy a gun, they're denied. So, again, they keep saying how easy it is, but they never tried to purchase one, especially in New Jersey, where in order to buy a gun, you need a pistol purchase permit. When we lived in New Jersey and my wife applied, it took 6 months. She had to give 3 references. And every time I called the police department to find the status, they kept saying it's just not a priority right now. Yeah, well, you see, Duke, the problem is, especially in the liberal states, you have no cash bail, right? So these guys get arrested and then they just get let out on the street again. Violent offenders, murderers. So those people, they let out on the street. But you violate a gun law, they're going to make an example out of you. Jennifer, bite me. Anyway, so I did have a lot of fun with my Colt Delta Elite. I've been putting more rounds through it, broke that in pretty good. I did order a Kydex holster for my SIG P365. That'll be here Saturday, so when that comes, I'll be able to carry that one. Don't have anything new on the horizon. Like I said, Duke, I'm still on the fence about getting that Ruger 1022. they have that 250th anniversary edition, but I'm also on the fence with the Smith and Wesson uh, folding pistol carbine in 10 millimeter. Do I have any other 22s? Yeah, I do. I have the Smith and Wesson M&P 1522. I mean, the problem is when I go to a gun range, um, 22 is just not on my radar. Hey, Rang, I've done a ton of reviews on inside the waistband holsters. Um, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. You could search my videos for holsters. I've reviewed almost every holster out there. And there's a lot of comfortable holsters. My opinion, nothing is as comfortable as leather, but anyway, Duke, like I was saying, that the only thing stopping me from getting a 22 is it's just not on my radar. When I go there, I want to shoot the big boy toys. Yeah, I have a Kydex holster coming, Ozzy, for my P365. I got another N8 Tactical Executive. It's optic ready, and they had it on sale for $26. I disagree there, Mellingham. I have a holster for every gun, but I don't really have a box of holsters. I've been very fortunate, I guess, that the ones I did buy are comfortable and work very well for me. So I don't have 5 holsters for every gun I have. That would cost me a fortune because I got a lot of guns. Yeah, I mean, the problem, Duke. Like I like that Smith and Wesson 22. It's the little baby brother of the AR-15 I have. Um, but if I'm going to take a rifle to the range, I'm taking my Henry 357 Magnum. And then, my pistols, I will probably never shoot a 22 pistol at the range. I'm bringing my 10 millimeter, my 1911s, my revolvers, and 357. That's just me. I get it. A lot of people can have a lot of fun with a 22. The ammo is cheap, but um, I reload all of the big boy ammo, so I have boatloads of 357 and 10 millimeter and 45 ACP that I don't really worry much about, going to the range and shooting for cheap. Yeah, that's a good point, Duke. It's just, um, well, you know what, Duke? No, I am still going to call it the communist state of New Jersey. Um, and I'll tell you why. Because the gun laws may change, um, but the governor of New Jersey is still doing a lot of communist things. Yeah, well, Ozzy, you do have an advantage because you do make your own. like I said, Duke, I mean, as sick as it sounds, you know, Phil Murphy actually looks pretty damn good right now, don't he? But, you have these liberal governors like Mickey in New Jersey and that lunatic in uh, Virginia. They're not socialist. They're communists. They keep saying they're socialist, but they've never been socialist. They've always been communist. And I think that's where a lot of people are starting to realize that, you know, down here in Tennessee, it's almost like a different country compared to New Jersey. You need government ID to vote. You need to be able to speak English to get a driver's license now. We also now, effective July 1st, are allowed to use deadly force to protect personal property. We just don't have restrictions down here. Good point there, Ozzy. And you know what, brother? If I had the talent you did, I'd be making my own holsters too. But I don't, so I purchased them. But I would probably have a lot of them. Yeah, I have the talent for eating barbecue too. And we got a lot of that here in Tennessee. Fortunately, though, I'm not. I'm not a big fan of ham. I'm not a big fan of pork, except for Taylor ham and bacon. That's pretty much it. As far as barbecue goes, though, I don't do the pork. I don't do the pulled pork. I like beef. And I did find a place that had beef ribs. Those things are freaking awesome. They're very difficult to find. I just want to mention for the people that are new to the stream today, we do this live stream every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, every Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. If you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button, share and like our videos, watch as many of our videos as you can. If you want to help us grow, watch as many of our videos as you can watch. We get our revenue based on how many videos are watched, and that's what we use to purchase firearms. We're not a huge channel. We don't make that much money. So whatever we do generate from people watching our videos helps me offset the money I pay out of my own pocket. So I appreciate that. Yeah, I only like beef ribs. I'm just not a fan of pork. Not a religious thing. I just never really cared for it. I got to tell you, Duke, that Colt Combat Elite. Are you talking about the Delta Elite? Yeah, okay. The Delta Elite, I got to tell you, Duke, that is probably my favorite gun now. I got a lot of use out of that thing. I mean, if you love a 1911 and you love a 10 millimeter, you get the best of both worlds. You get a 10 millimeter 1911, and that Colt Delta Elite started it all. that was the first 1911 chambered in 10 millimeter. And the reason that Duke saw that video is because he is a member. Another thing you may want to do if you like what we do here and you want to help out, if you become a member of the channel, they get to see videos before the public does. I leave most of those videos out there so the members see those videos for a week or two before everybody else does. You know what, Duke? You can't have enough of 10 millimeters. I got a lot of them. I normally carry a 10 millimeter. Like I said, I basically went back to carrying a 1911. So I'll switch between the Colt Government 45 ACP and the Colt Delta Elite 10 millimeter, but I love my 1911s. Only 3 guns. Oh, sorry to hear that, dude. Well, you know what? You'll increase. Trust me, Duke. Your collection will grow. I mean, I had to buy another safe a couple weeks ago. Oh, oh no, Duke. I'm not biting on that. What you need, Duke, is you need a 45. I mean, everybody needs a 45, right? Hence Pro Gun 45. Get a 1911, get a Smith & Wesson Shield, the Ruger XD. You got to have a 45. I mean, that's un-American if you don't own one. Yeah, they had more Smith & Wesson 40 ammo because everybody's buying the 10. They're stuck with all that 40. Nobody carries that. Nobody shoots that shit anymore. You should also reload 45, Duke. You got to get a 45. Whether it's a 1911 or, another pistol. I like my Glock 21. The Glock 21 is probably the best non-1911 45 ACP. Good choice, Ozzy. I have the SIG P320 X10. I have the X10 Comp, and it's awesome. I love that gun. I also have the Smith & Wesson M&P 2.0 10 millimeter. I have the Glock 20. I have the Springfield Ronin in 10 millimeter. And I just bought the Colt Delta Elite in 10 millimeter. But anyway, Duke, it's un-American to not own a 45. And if you're going to get a reloading press, spend $30 and get the dies for 45 too. Uses the same primers as the 10 millimeter. You could use the same powder. Oh, you can take out a deer with a 10 millimeter. If you had to, you could take out a bear with it. Yep, a lot of the Alaskan tour guides use, matter of fact, they use the Glock 20 10 millimeter because it holds 15 rounds. Man, that is a lot of stopping power. All right, Pezzo, I can give you my thoughts on that. I do have the echelon, and I think I have the full size echelon. Um, and I think, in my opinion, the echelon is one of the best pistols that Springfield has ever made. Um, Out of the box, it just has got so many features. Their um, optic mounting system, that it's like a 30 pin configuration right out of the box. It'll handle 30 different optic uh, footprints without a need for an optic plate. Um, they did a great job with their sights. They have the tritium front night sight with the U-shaped uh, rear sight that gives you super quick target acquisition. Um, 17 round magazines, and I think when I bought mine, I got 223 rounds came with it as well. Hey, Ralph, welcome to the Pro Gun live stream. Thank you for joining. If you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe button. Watch our videos. We have almost 1,000 videos out there. So to answer your question, Ralph, Henry rifles are they good? They're awesome. I just bought a Henry Big Boy um, with the brass gate, and I bought it in 357 Magnum. And the Henry is the best lever action I've ever felt. Um, it's it's like butter. Um, if you're looking for especially a lever action, Ralph, you definitely can't go wrong. And mine was made in Bayonne, New Jersey. Now, I did go with the carbine version. I'm glad I did. Um, I got the 16-inch barrel, and the barrel is octagonal, and it's heavy as hell. 16-inch barrel on that Henry, and it's almost 9 pounds. That thing weighs a ton, but man, is that a sweet shooting gun. And gorgeous. You know, the black walnut grip and the brass side gate and the brass banding around it. It is one sweet looking gun. Good evening, Dave. Thanks for joining. Um, we are ending the stream at 9. We do start this live stream at 8 o'clock Eastern. We do this every Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock Eastern, and Saturday at 12 noon Eastern. Yep. You know what, Dave? It's never too late. You can always watch the live stream later. And please subscribe to the channel. .308. Duke, I have a Remington 308 bolt action, and I love that. And don't forget, Dave, subscribe to the channel and watch as many of my videos as you can. That helps us get monetized. And I have almost 1,000 videos out there. I've reviewed almost every product there is. So before you go out and waste money on holsters and accessories and even guns that suck, we've reviewed them all. Ah, thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. And I'm glad you like that light. I have actually gave one away another week or two ago. I have a bunch of other stuff laying around. Um, I don't know. I'll probably have some kind of giveaway soon. Well, you know what, Duke? When you start getting a goofy caliber, um, reloading is not. Yeah, I have a Delta Elite lying around. It's like on my hip right now. Um, but anyway, Duke, the problem that you have with reloading on some of the goofy cartridges is number one, it's hard to find dies for them. Um, the other thing is you may not be able to find the brass. Um, I usually, I don't like used brass. I usually buy mine from uh, a couple sources online, um, but I buy brand new brass because I use it until the case is split. Yeah, and I don't reload rifle only because I'm lazy. It's too much work. I do recommend the universal decapper though. Yeah, you know what, Duke? If I had $1 for every gun I wish I never sold, I mean, I got, you know, I have guns that I bought when I was 21 years old, a long, 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 long time ago. And when I sold them, I thought I did pretty good. And now when I see how much you're getting for them, it makes me sick. But hey, we got about 5 minutes left, guys. So if you have anything you want to get in before we go, again, welcome to the new people on the stream tonight. Yeah, when I was 21, the day I turned 21, I bought a Colt Combat Commander. I paid $289 for it. And when my son was born, I sold it because my ex wife didn't want guns in the house. That's why she's my ex wife. Um, and now when I see how much those things are going for, 2,500 bucks, makes me sick to my stomach. But who knew? But then again, I look at it as all right, so I got my Colt Python and my Colt Viper and my Delta Elite and my Colt government model. So um, they're all going to be worth money one day too. So yeah, my favorite car was my '79 Trans Am. Um, I had the Smoky and the Bandit Trans Am, um, the 4.6 liter V8. Um, I should have never sold that car. We did good tonight, Duke. Again, thanks to our moderators for helping me kick out the liberals. Um, we had a good night tonight, Duke. We didn't have many liberals. I think we only had two. And even though attendance has been dropping on these streams, I will continue to do them anyway because A lot of it could be people on vacation. Summer's winding down. But I'm not going to stop doing them, even if it's just us. I don't really care. But time will tell. I mean, we do this twice a week because you guys asked for it. So I'm not going to stop doing them. We'll continue to do them. Gundog, and you be safe on the road out there, brother. And thanks for that there, DB. I appreciate that. Again, watch as many of our videos as you can. That helps us generate revenue. People also subscribe to become members of the channel. That also helps us. Let me see. Sorry, Pezzo, I got you. I apologize for that. The questions go by so fast. What is more fun? In my opinion, 22 long rifle, semi-automatic rifle, by far, is the most fun. I don't find shooting 22 pistols fun at all. Bolt action, it's a lot of work, because the 22s are cheap, right? And you're going to want to shoot a lot of them, and have to keep doing this all day starts getting old. So for me, I like the 22 long rifle, semi-automatic, like my Smith & Wesson M&P 1522. But we all have different definitions of fun. And to me, anytime you're on the range shooting should be fun, regardless of what caliber you have. It's all about fun, right? And train. Can't say enough about that. All right, guys, this is going to do it. And you're very welcome there, Pezzo. Anytime, glad to do it. Like I said, I love having these streams. I like being able to exchange information with you guys. Hopefully you guys learned something from me, because I learned from you guys as well. I love the relationship that I have with my viewers and subscribers. A lot of the big channels forgot how they got there. We're not a huge channel, but we got to where we got because of you guys, and I greatly appreciate it all. So thank you all. Have a blessed evening, and we'll catch you next time.